And we welcome you into another exciting installment of Emporia FC Black Lions Soccer here for the League for Clubs. You might notice a slight change in scenery here tonight. The Lions Den has shifted from one school to the other. We are back in our roots in the Emporia High School field. Tegan Terhune here with you, the voice of the Black Lions of Emporia FC. We are so happy to have you join us here for this exciting matchup between the Emporia FC Black Lions and the number one team in the Mid-American Conference for the League for Clubs against the Omaha Evolution. Emporia FC comes into this contest 1-1-2 on the season thus far, whereas Omaha is undefeated 3-0. The point differentials for Emporia: 6 goals against, 4-4. A -2 goal differential for Emporia FC, and then for Evolution, a 13 goals for, 3 goals against, goal differential of 10. Emporia FC starting roster looks like this. Forward, Fabricio Kaspersky. Midfielder, Kosuke Fukudomi. Felipe Candido at defender. Vittorio Bellesi at defender. Midfielder, Fabian Arroyo. Joku Jankowskis at forward. Patrick Alador at defender. Also at defender, Yushin Nakano. Jeremy Cavanis at midfielder. Bernardo Hanel at midfield. And in goal, Pedro Super Save Silva. For the Union, or excuse me, Evolution, my apologies. At defense, they have Peter Westling, Owen Rutledge, also Brody Brake, Freddie Casas. For the midfielders, Brett Perkins, Michael Stukenholtz, and Ryan Kubiak. At forward, Drew Darnold, Angel Lopez, and in goal, Matthew Hudson. Your starting lineups there as we are underway, approaching the first minute gone in this contest, and it's a very important contest for Emporia FC, who have had a bumpy start to their journey here in the League for Clubs. Again, 1-1-2 on the season. 1 draw to Tulsa Athletic, a loss to the Union, a loss to Athletic. Got that big win over Tulsa Athletic in their last outing at home. We'll see if they can knock off the number one team at the top of the table here tonight. Of course, Emporia FC, with their goal differential and their points thus far, sitting in second right behind the Evolution. Evolution have it in their own zone, pushing it back and forth from left to right. Working down the far seam now, Evolution trying to break free. A little bit of a stumble there for Bernardo Hanel of Emporia FC as he was trying to poke it free. Evolution so far doing a great job with the ball control, moving it up, back, side to side pretty seamlessly. I don't know if I've even seen a Black Lion touch it yet. That's textbook passing right there. Good block by Emporia FC to force it out and stop the passing game here for the Evolution. Stepping in for that block was Bernardo Hanal for the Black Lions. Felipe Candido getting in on the action on the far side off the throw-in for Emporia FC. Evolution will lose it. Player goes down. Long ball down the way. Streaking down for it. That is Kanata Takahashi. Takahashi circling around. Nice pass. Opportunity here. Fire on goal. No good for Bernardo Hanel. But a great look there for Emporia FC, generated by the long ball that touched the toes of Kanata Takahashi. Takahashi has been a rock star for Emporia FC since coming to the team this year. Of course, over on the UPSL side for Emporia FC, Takahashi just a few weeks ago scoring the hat trick. It was a loss in that contest, but he brought his team back from 5-2 to 5-4, making the loss a little more, I would say, acceptable, though nobody ever likes to take an L. Off the opportunity there for Emporia FC. Evolution back in control, now pushing back up into the Black Lions zone. Nice interception there by Fukudomi. Fukudomi now passing it around to Hanel. Hanel back to Fukudomi. Arroyo gets tripped up. He's trying to get back to his feet, now tangling up there with Drew Darnold of Evolution, and it's going to be a free kick here for Emporia FC. Or are they going to say it went out? Nope, it will be a free kick, and the man from Turks and Caicos, Patrick Alador, will do the honors. Alador course, a very capable striker when he needs to be, but he's also been moved back to defense on multiple times. He's basically been playing every single side of the ball you could imagine except goalkeeper, and he's contributed to quite a few goals for Emporia FC here, both in the League for Clubs and also in the UPSL. Alidor now has it on the near seam, streaking around. He was challenged by Ryan Kubiak. He tried to feed it to Hanel, who was coming right up the middle, but it gets intercepted. Now Evolution with it again, pushing it around, and I'm sure you can hear it right there. The wind will likely be a factor here tonight as it is howling here in Emporia. Just like the fans. Ah, how I've missed this. I give up a cushy press box every day just to be closer to my people. You can hear it. They love me. They really love me. Ball goes out of play. Evolution will have to throw in from in front of their own bench. They go towards the Emporia FC zone, but not much help around there as they'll send it towards the goal, and Silva will easily scoop it up. Pedro Silva, another big factor for Emporia FC since coming to the club this year. Started as a backup goalkeeper and was really a mainstay on the UPSL squad. Had more than one clean sheet over on that squad. Coach Victor Ibarra liked what he saw, decided to bring him up to the main club here in the League for Clubs, and so far Silva has impressed. Nice pass to get around Alidor by Michael Stukenholtz, and the ball gets pushed out of play by Emporia FC, as dribbling with it was Angel Lopez, the forward for Evolution. Coming in to throw it back will be Brody Brake, the defender. Brake, overhead pass, and Bobby Arroyo says, not in my house. Tries to send it back the other way. The wind gets a hold of it. Arroyo will try and send it back after Evolution said, reverse uno on you. Now, Evolution at the top of the box, trying to get inside. Nice stop there by the Emporia defense, but they can't clear it out. Hanel had it on his foot. It gets, not sure if it was deflected towards the goal, but nonetheless, Silva comes up with another easy scoop. Now Silva taking his time, rolls it out, starting to get pressured a little bit. That's a short, maybe dangerous pass to Nakano that still manages to get out. Evolution doesn't get an opportunity. Kanata Takahashi got held on the arm by Brody Brake, but it doesn't stop him. Takahashi now down the left side. Getting to the top of the box, looking for a man. Goes to the right side of the field. It's Arroyo. Arroyo into the box. Takahashi shot on goal, just not enough mustard on that hot dog. It's easily scooped up by Matthew Hudson. Hudson looked like he was going to throw it off to the side, but he kind of pulled up on the opportunity. Now he's got it back, and it looks like Evolution going to take their time moving it forward. Evolution for the last 7+ minutes has really done a good job of those short passes to open up the midfield, but once they've gotten down into the Emporia zone, the defenders have collapsed on top of them and done a great job of taking away scoring opportunities. Thus far, Emporia has had the cleaner opportunities. 2 shots by Kanata Takahashi, at least generated by him, I should say. Throw in from Alidor, goes to Hanel. Hanel trying to fight around. Excuse me, that's Fabricio Kaspersky. My apologies. Kaspersky gets the pass off over to Arroyo, and they're having to move back into their own side of the field. They finally get it up across midfield. Takahashi has it taken away now. Little collision there with Arroyo. Pokes the ball free. Evolution recovers. Now at midfield. Nakano getting very aggressive. Gets the takeaway and then gets tripped up on his approach. Good job by Emporia's Yushin Nakano to generate that contact. Nakano, another new face to the Emporia FC squad this season, has been quite a difference maker as well in the backfield for Emporia. I'm not going to lie, I was a little surprised to see him pushing it up the field, but again, we talked about the versatility of Patrick Alidor a little bit ago. Nakano is another player who's been very handy on both sides of the ball. Free kick here for Emporia FC. Header on the goal, saved by Hudson. But that's the third great look Emporia's had on the Evolution goal. 3 shots already. That header was provided by Kusuke Fukudomi. Looked great, just was read too well. Hanel has it for Emporia now. Goes back to Arroyo towards midfield. Arroyo, little hesitation. Skips it between the legs to I believe that was Takahashi. Now back to Kaspersky. And Evolution will take control from there. Sending it back the other way. Nakano picks it up on his toes. Sends it back to Silva towards the goal. Silva decides to back off Balesi. Balesi now will collect after the pass. Balesi pushing it up, goes to Arroyo, now over to the right side to Felipe Candido. Candido skipping it up across midfield over to Takahashi, and it's taken away again by Evolution. The Evolution has done a good job of intercepting a lot of passes here so far, but Emporia still managed to get past them on more than one occasion with 3 shots on goal already, making Hudson earn his paycheck tonight, for lack of a better term. Ball goes out of play on the far side. Last touch by the Evolution. It will go to Emporia FC. Felipe Candido, who made his triumphant return to the squad in active duty last week in a UPSL matchup after an early hamstring injury took him out shortly after he arrived from Colorado. Little meeting of the minds there didn't pay off as the ball goes off the head of Candido and out of play. So it goes back here to the Evolution. Again, Omaha Evolution sitting atop the table in the Mid-American Conference for the League for Clubs with 9 points. They have scored no less than 3 goals in all 3 of their contests with a perfect 3-0 record. Shot on goal towards Silva. He's backing some guys off. He'll scoop it up there on the, as we see it, right side of the goal to his left. And he'll go ahead and wing it on out there. Candido has it on the far seam. Pushing it up. Hanel back to Candido. Really pressuring them was Brett Perkins, the midfielder for Evolution. Couple headers in the scrum, and now getting it back out. Pushing and shoving there with Takahashi as Hanel, I think, thought he had a man streaking up the middle, but he was not there. You could see kind of put his hand over his head there like, I just gave that one away, but it's all right. Emporia's done a good job of capitalizing on opportunities. That was just a rare miss. Brody break. Pushing it up the way to Michael Stukenholtz. Stukenholtz gets challenged by Aludor and Fukudomi. Now switching the field from right to left. Omaha on the toes of Brett Perkins momentarily at midfield. He'll scoop it over to Brody break. Pushing up to Drew Darnold. Darnold trying to get a nice low long ball to Michael Stukenholtz, and sliding in to take that opportunity away is none other than Yushin Nakano. Sunshine starting to show here at Emporia High School for the first time in a while. Some cloudy skies greeted us here today, but you know what they say, God's a soccer fan, so he's smiling on this one. I don't know who says that. I might have made it up. I don't know. Angel Lopez has it now for Evolution. Getting double teamed, has the ball taken away. Emporia back in control now, trying to get out of their own side of the field. Little shin checker there for Arroyo from Evolution. Patrick Alidor has it now. He's got some free grass range to go around. He was trying to kick it over to Takahashi. Misses the target, but they still get it back. Now Alidor trying to get around Stukenholtz. Loses it momentarily. Arroyo recovers for Emporia FC at midfield and switches to the right side of the field as we see it. Now back the other way, coming way out of his box was Silva to send it back the other direction. Again, I'm sure you could hear that wind in the headset, as that is going to play a factor all night long. We want to give some love to our technical director, Javen Arndt, who's getting an arm workout now, trying to hold the canopy over our heads in case of rainfall. Have yet to see anybody else step up to offer and help. Just hintity hint hints. I'm just kidding. Emporia FC Again, double, almost triple teaming at Evolution as they were trying to get down the seam. Take it back now. Fukudomi was trying to feed it to Kaspersky, and it just went right past him. Again, I think you have to contribute some of that to the wind, as it looked like it had a clean line, and then it just kind of went off course. Familiar sight now as Evolution has it deep in their own side of the field, just working those short passes, trying to open up an opportunity in the midfield here against Emporia, and it goes out of play yet again. Evolution has the free kick. They send it back to their own goal in Hudson. Hudson now working it up the way. Looked like a quick turnover there for Emporia, but no. It'll go back to Evolution again, and we're just playing a lot of pass around here. It was a pretty quick, furious first few moments between both teams who are looking for their opportunities, and then, of course, Emporia definitely coming out on top with the opportunities with multiple shots on goal. Evolution has definitely gotten into the zone. They just haven't been able to capitalize thus far, thanks to the back line for Emporia FC. As another throw-in coming for the Black Lions. Aludor will handle that. He throws it to Hanel, who is immediately double-teamed by Kubiak and Perkins of Evolution. Ball now at midfield, bouncing around both sets of jerseys. Approaching the 16th minute of play in this contest, even at 0-0. Again, these are big implication games as Evolution now gets into the box, left side, and stepping in is the back line for the Black Lions. Great stop yet again, and Emporia fends off another look at the goal by the Evolution. Pedro Silva, short pass. Ball pushed to the far seam to Candido. Candido goes to midfield, headed away by Hanel. And it'll go out of play. Throw in coming again for Evolution in front of their own bench. Looks like Owen Rutledge was going to take the throw in, but he'll hand those responsibilities off. Little hesitation there on the throw in. Ball goes off the toe of Fabi Arroyo and out of play yet again. And we go back to another throw in. A little bit closer to the Emporia side this time. Ball again forced out of play by Emporia FC, and the players just moving back as it's just kind of quick stoppages, just not trying to let Evolution get settled here. Throw-in goes off the foot of McGuire Perkins. Perkins will lose it out of play, and they're going to say it was last touched by Perkins. So Emporia now will have a throw-in of their own. On the throw-in, big collision there. Sends a Black Lion to the floor. The guilty party was McGuire Perkins. Emporia will have a free kick. Now, I guess the good news for Perkins is that foul was committed deep on Emporia's own side. They're probably not going to score a goal from clear across the field, especially with Hudson in goal, who's stopped some point-blank shots already. So if you're going to do it, I guess that's the place to do it. Fukudomi sends the ball up the way. Goes off the head of Nakano. He goes down. And a scramble for the ball and a frustration shown out of Vittorio Bellesi. I'm not sure why, as he had a good stop there on the play. Might just be that it's going to be a corner kick. That would possibly be the cause of that visible frustration, but nonetheless, another good stop by Emporia's back line. Corner kick coming here now from Brett Perkins, the midfielder for Evolution. Of course, Evolution making the trip from Omaha. Curious. That is not a short drive. It's a little over 4 hours. Got to wonder how that might affect them down the way. Corner goes nowhere except out of play to the opposite side of the stadium here. And it will go back to Emporia for a throw-in. Again, deep in their own zone. Felipe Candido got it nearly to midfield before it's taken away by Evolution. Little collision there between Fukudomi and Omaha's McGuire Perkins. Throw-in goes to Omaha. Went off the chest of Brett Perkins, and then it'll go out of play. And they're going to say it was last touched by Emporia. Throw in from just off to the left side of the box on the far seam of the field. Was in the box momentarily with Ryban Kubiak. Gets pushed out. And we'll get a whistle as Kanata Takahashi got free with the ball, and he had a lot of clear field ahead of him. I'm not really sure what the call was there. Head official having a conversation with the players. Again, I don't know what led to that stoppage, as it looked like Takahashi won it clean, but it's going to lead to a free kick from just about 15 yards out from the goal. I'd love to hear the explanation on that one. Personally, I didn't see a foul there, but, I'm watching the ball. Officials watching the whole field, so must have seen something that I did not. Perkins will line up for this one, a four-man wall in front. Shot on goal goes way high and over the top. Maybe I'm being a little, I might be a little partial with that statement. Maybe way high, but definitely a little too high on that one. Nonetheless, Silva was getting there to try and save it, and nearly did. Luckily, he didn't have to. Again, I think the wind might have been playing a factor in that one, as it looked like it had a good line, and then it just went a little wide, a little high, and a little out of play. Goal kick for Silva, goes to the right side. We want to introduce you to our officiating crew for tonight. Our center official is Dusan Milosevic. Samuel Hernandez, assistant referee 1. Assistant referee 2 is Paulo Velasa. And then the fourth official, John Burke. Again, your officiating crew for this evening's contest, which still stands 0-0 over 21 minutes in. As our video operator decides to stop for a quick selfie. Didn't think I would see that. I did. And I will hold you accountable. Black Lions with a throw-in now from across the field on the far seam. And it looks like Union doubling up on these defensive efforts, not leaving anyone open. Ball goes onto the foot of Jeremy Cabanis, the Frenchman, and returner for Emporia FC from last year. Played a few preseason matchups before heading off to other responsibilities. So we didn't get to see much of Jeremy last year, but what we did see was impressive enough that he is back, and he's been having some valuable minutes. As a throw-in for Evolution goes over the head of the intended target, and it's headed back out by Fukudomi of Emporia. And another throw-in here for Evolution, and they've had quite a few so far, especially on the Black Lion side of the field. Toe tapper goes to Darnold goes back to Brody Brake, and now back into their own side of the field with it is Freddie Kosenhace. For Evolution, Perkins with it now at midfield for Omaha. He'll send it back momentarily from center, the right side, and now backwards again. Again, they haven't had as many clear-cut opportunities on goal just yet, have Evolution, but their passing has been crisp clean. Like the taste of 7-Up. Ball pushed up again by Emporia, and now they're starting to struggle a little bit at getting through into the box as, again, Evolution has kind of adopted their strategy that Emporia was really doing great as Patrick Alador, the speedster, gets in there and takes away a potential scoring opportunity for Michael Stukenholz, sending it out of play, and it will lead to a corner again for Omaha. Now, the last time Omaha had a corner, it was from this exact side, and they just sent it over the heads of everyone. Again, got to say, probably with a little bit of an assist from the wind. Perkins heading towards the corner. He also has Angel Lopez, the forward over there. See who will take it. Last time it looked like Perkins was going to take the free kick from about 15 yards out, and Lopez stepped in. Wonder if they might switch out here. Ball blowing the wind blowing the ball, I should say, off the corner. As Perkins will take it, sends it in the box. It's way out there, almost to the top, headed away by Evolution's Ryan Kubiak. That'll be good news for Emporia, as now they have another throw-in opportunity a little bit closer to midfield than they have been on other opportunities thus far. Candido will be the one to throw it in as we have surpassed 25 minutes. 20 more to go, at least in regulation. Has not been a lot of stoppages thus far. Both teams stand on their feet pretty handedly. A couple of free kicks, but that's about it. Been a relatively clean game. Nice interception there by Nakano at midfield. Goes to Hanel. Hanel's got an opportunity, some open field, and he tries to cross it to the center, and it's taken away, but it stays in play. He'll cross it from left to right. Huge collision in the box, no whistle. Kanata Takahashi just got knocked out of midair. Going for the ball, and they're going to say play on. Yeesh. All right. Might be one of those nights at the office. Candido heads away the throw-in there for Evolution, back towards them. Now another throw-in as it went out of play. Again, give it a little bit of an assist to the wind on that one as it going straight, and then we got a nice gust that pushed it out. But I also don't think Evolution was going to stop it from going out if it was already headed that way. 26 minutes, 35 seconds now played in the first half of this contest between the home Emporia FC Black Lions and the visiting Omaha Evolution. Neither team has found the back of the net. Both have had some opportunities. Emporia, in the first 10 minutes of this contest, had 3 shots on goal. And all 3 were saved by the Evolution's goalkeeper, Matthew Hudson. Pedro Silva for Emporia FC has not had to live up to his name, Big Save Silva, just yet. But as this contest goes on, you got to imagine he's probably going to see some action. Emporia FC has it on the Omaha side of the field. It goes to Alador to the left side. Tries to get around, almost trips up, sends it back the other way. I think he was trying to find a teammate on the right side of the box, but it was easily intercepted with a header by Omaha. Little collision at midfield doesn't lead to a stoppage. Patrick Alador takes the ball away from Evolution's McGuire Perkins, and he'll send it back towards the Evolution goal, but it's way off the mark and out of play. So a goal kick here for Matthew Hudson. 27 minutes plus played, about to be into minute 28. Again, Emporia had a bit of a rough welcome to the League for Clubs earlier this year, matching up with Tulsa Athletic in their first 3 contests. They would drop the first contest 3-0 in Tulsa. They would then draw with Tulsa and their second contest, that one at home, and finally get on the scoreboard in terms of the win column, I should say, with a victory over Tulsa in their third meeting, again, in the Lions' Den. Silva tempting fate a little bit there as Drew Darnold was starting to pressure him. Takahashi, the speedster from Japan, down the near seam. He gets tangled up with, trying to get free. Ball goes out of play, and it was last touched by Takahashi. Trying to plead his case, but now the official got that one right. Takahashi's toes were the last ones to tap that ball. Michael Stukenholtz. Little fancy footwork. Not enough to fool the man from Turks and Caicos as Patrick Alidor read him like an open book and pushed it out of play. You're going to have to try a lot harder than that to cross his eyes. We are nearing the 30th minute of this contest. Still neither team able to find the back of the goal just yet, despite having some opportunities. Alidor will have the throw in here for Emporia SC. Elects to go towards the back three in the form of Fukudomi, who's now trying to push it up front. Candido to Arroyo. Arroyo fires a fastball right up there towards Takahashi, who got kicked in the head. And again, no stoppage. Patrick Alidor gets tripped up now by Stukenholtz. And he's going to get a talking to from our center official. Gave him the old finger wag, and let me tell you something. There's two people you never want to get the finger wag from, and that's your mother and an official, because it's never a good thing. Over 30 minutes now gone in this contest as Patrick Alidor is still down. Head official Dusan Milosevic allowing him to regather himself, and this is the first real notable stoppage that we've had so far. And Alidor is not a guy that stays down for long, as looks like we're getting some training staff out to check on him. He was immediately grabbing at his right leg. Still gesturing to it, more towards the ankle. That was a rough collision. Sent him head over heels. Getting helped up now. He is slow to put weight on it, trying to work it out a little bit, and it looks like he's going to be okay. I'll tell you right now, if he's got an actual injury, that will be a big loss for Emporia, as Alidor, I'd mentioned, is a very versatile player, can play both sides of the ball, and he's quite frankly, show me someone faster than him, and I'll start believing in unicorns again. He's one of the quickest players I think Emporia FC has ever seen on their squad. Again, a big weapon loss as he's stepping off the field for a moment. Trying to recover. Long free kick from Arroyo. Almost found a Black Lion's head, but it's punched away by Evolution's Matthew Hudson. Patrick Alidor now hustling back out onto the field at midfield. Hopefully that's where he'll stop, and he does. Any further, I would have thought he was going to get subbed out, and again, that would be a huge loss for the Black Lions. Throw in gets shifted out of play. And another opportunity coming here for Omaha. 32 minutes, 10 seconds. Played so far here in the Lions' Den with neither team on the scoreboard as of yet. Perkins almost cleared Alidor and started to take off as the wind shifting our canopy a little bit here. Should be an indication of just how hard the wind is blowing, as Perkins and Alidor now mixing it up a little bit. Alidor gave Perkins a little chest bump from behind, and Perkins decided he was going to put his hands on Alidor. Alidor said, "No, you're not," swiped his hands off him. And now both players getting conversations with the officials. Center official Milosevic talking with Perkins. Assistant referee, too, Paulo Villasa, speaking with Alidor, who will have a throw-in here for Emporia FC just down in front of us. And it seems like Patrick Alidor doing his job. I mentioned he's a versatile player, but we've also affectionately started calling him Agitator Alidor because he does it better than anybody else. He knows how to get in his opponent's head. There's been more than one occasion this season where somebody's gotten a red card because Patrick got a little too close. Long ball goes up. Headers from both teams. Now ball being pushed around at midfield by Emporia FC. It goes back to Candido as we get set to enter minute number 34. Hudson will come out of his box, play the ball. A stoppage in play. Did not see what the reason for the whistle was there from Milosevic, but it doesn't seem to impede much as we are going yet again. And again, a familiar sight here. Evolution pushing that ball around in the back, waiting for an opening. Very similar to the style that Emporia has historically employed, though Emporia really favoring the long ball a lot more this season. Have not taken the slow approaches that we saw in previous years. Got to think, with it being their first year in the league for clubs, they may just be trying something new, but hey, it's been working for the most part, especially when you got guys like Alador as well as Hanel and Takahashi who can pretty much, I'd say, catch a cold spell in the desert. They're so quick. If that didn't make any sense, you need to come spend some time in Kansas. It will. We have a lot of corn-pone statements. 10 minutes left in regulation of the first half. See how much added time we'll have. I don't anticipate it's going to be significant considering the very small amount of stoppages we've had. The longest was for Alador when he went down with what looked like might have been a leg injury. That was only for about a minute and a half. Emporia now starting to push the ball back up towards midfield. Hanel trying to track it down. My correction, that's Fabi Kaspersky. Cabanis fighting for it there with Stukenholtz, and we will get a whistle against, or my correction again, that's Vittorio Bellesi. I apologize, 2 slip-ups there. I shall do better. Bellesi got the hand out, and it led to Stukenholtz on the ground, and, well, that's going to be a easy whistle almost every time, or at least you would think. Kubiak was lining up for a shot on goal. Emporia FC gets a back on it, able to knock it away. Emporia FC almost kicking the ball the complete opposite direction, but they'll settle for the stoppage and momentum as they were able to force Evolution to put it out of play. It'll lead to a goal kick here for Silva. And he'll go short off to his right side, the left side of the field as we see it from atop the Lions' Den. Evolution now might have their best opportunity. Stukenholtz with the right foot off the pass from the middle. And that one goes wide of the goal. That's the best look that Omaha has had so far this evening. And again, I think the wind playing more than a little bit of a factor in that one. As another goal kick coming for Pedro Silva. Looks like he's trying to get a few players in motion. He might have something in mind here. I don't think it's just going to be an arbitrary pass. He's sending his line up the way. So, yeah, he's going to go long ball here. Maybe try and catch somebody off guard. But he's going against the wind. Gets it to Candido on the far seam, so he didn't go as deep as we thought he would. Evolution now intercepts on the foot of McGuire Perkins. Perkins sends it up to Stukenholtz. Stukenholtz, nice extra pass up the middle. A collision in the box. No whistle either way. Ball sent out by Patrick Alador. And another clear look, point-blank near opportunity for the Evolution is stymied by Emporia FC's defense. Again, I am sure that you could hear that wind in the background. It has not settled down at all since the onset of this matchup. Gotta love Kansas in the middle of June, or I guess I should say the start of June. Trying to fast forward time way too much and get to Christmas. I don't think I'm alone in that. Ball bouncing around at midfield, approaching minute number 39 of this still scoreless contest between the top team of the table in the Middle American Conference, Omaha Evolution, and right behind them in the table, Emporia FC's Black Lions. Emporia sends it up across midfield now. Evolution will regather it and start to press back the other way. Ready, Koses. Send it up the front to Kubiak. Kubiak will drop it back for a moment, comes back up across midfield now. Evolution, again, very crisp passing tonight on the toes of Brett Perkins now. Dukenholtz sends it into the box to the right from Angel Lopez, who loses it, and it's forced out of play by Patrick Alador. And what a lucky break Emporia got there as Alador fired it. It looked like it was going to be a clear-cut corner kick for Evolution, but the center official, one Mr. Milosevic, says no, it was actually tipped out off the toe of an Evolution player. Got the eyes of a hawk on that one. I did not think that was the way it would go, but I am not going to argue about it. You know what they say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, and Emporia FC certainly wasn't as they started pushing their way back up across midfield as we are into minute number 40 of this contest. You got to think they want to at least try and put one or two more shots on goal before the halftime break. Ball's on the far seam. Now at midfield. Both teams taking an opportunity to kick it around, and Yushin Nakano is not going to try and pressure on the ball. He'll let Brody Brake pick it up for the Evolution. Now it's pushed up the middle to Perkins as Patrick Alador intercepted it and slid, colliding with Angel Lopez. And it'll be a free kick here for Omaha, but it doesn't really look like it was much of a nefarious play. It was just simply Alador was trying to make the hairpin turn, and his foot just came out and happened to collide with the wrong person. Takahashi had an opportunity to break free, but was just about a half step behind as the defenders caught up to him very quickly. Ball will go out. It'll stay with Emporia deep in enemy territory. Throw-in coming for the Black Lions. Kaspersky will leave it for Alador. And Alador, it's worth noting, is almost as deadly with a throw-in as most guys are with a corner, as he's actually assisted some goals with the throw-in. It goes to Kaspersky, goes back to Alador now, just outside the left side of the box. He'll cross it to the right. There's nobody there to touch it, and it'll be forced out of play. We have more fans coming in to join the party here in the Lions Den. Again, Tegan Terhune, the video voice of Emporia FC, with you here tonight on this, well, quite frankly, pleasant, partly cloudy sky night in Emporia, Kansas. Omaha, back to their short passes. Pushing it up the way. Little bit of a shove there at midfield by Emporia's Kusuke Fukudomi. Doesn't result in anything against Emporia. Now Nakano has it. Just skyrockets that one almost into the next field. And that will end that opportunity for Emporia and give a goal kick here to Omaha's Matthew Hudson. Brody Brake tried to send it up to the middle. It's intercepted by Nakano. Now he'll send the long ball down. That one intercepted by Fukudomi, who sends it out of play towards the bottom of the stands just below us. Brake to Perkins. Now to Owen Rutledge. Over to Angel Lopez. The Wind, again, trying to lay claim to our canopy here as Omaha gets into the zone, trying to get inside the right side of the box. Alador stops that momentum very quickly. Thank you to the fans who came and stopped our technical director from being blown away. I must have looked like the biggest jerk in the world because I didn't break stride once calling this game. So thank you to the people that have a soul while I just sit here and watch soccer. Again, I can't underscore enough how much that wind is playing a factor. I mean, it's blowing a full canopy around. Yeah, only imagine what it's doing to a soccer ball right now, as both teams have had some great looks, but the wind has either gotten under it or gotten in front of it and stopped it cold or pushed it too high. See what Pedro Silva can do here as he'll send the long ball. Takahashi gets in front of the defenders. Falling and stopping it is Freddy Coses. Shot on goal is no good. And that was a great opportunity that, again, goes nowhere. Ay, ay, ay. We are into the 45th minute. I have yet to be told the added time. Minimum 1 minute of stoppage. Not surprising. Again, we haven't had a lot of stoppages thus far. Perkins for Omaha. Sends it to Stukenholtz. It's intercepted by Alador. Alador now into a side-by-side foot race with Stukenholtz. A little pushing and shoving. He's on the near boundary, and we get a stoppage. As at midfield, it looks like a Omaha player is down. And that does not look to be good. Looks to be in a lot of pain. Wondering, again, was watching the ball there. I couldn't see if there was a collision, but it looked like Yushin Nakano came over to say something to the down player. I think they might have cracked shins. And I'll tell you right now, that is not a fun experience for anybody involved. In a minute number 46. Drop ball, Alador sends it down. Takahashi, again, in front of the line for Omaha. Going to try and dribble around them. He goes from left to right, and before it can get to the intended recipient, it's headed away by Omaha, and that's how we'll end the first half. First 45-plus minutes in the books. So far, no scores on said books. Both teams going to try and recover, get some game plans together, and see what they can do to try and seize control here, as neither team has really established dominance yet this far in this first half. See how it all plays out. We're going to step aside for a short break. We'll come back and have second half action here from the Lions Den in Emporia, Kansas. It's still 0-0. Emporia FC and Omaha Evolution. Who's going to take the victory? Stick around and find out.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
And we are back here in Emporia, Kansas, in the Lion's Den. Tegan Terhune, the video voice of Emporia FC, with you as we are about ready to resume action in what has been a back-and-forth affair between these two squads. Of course, the visitors, Omaha Evolution, currently undefeated in the Mid-American Conference of the League for Clubs. 3 games, 3 victories, 13 goals for, 3 goals against. Goal differential of 10 coming into the contest, sitting at number 1 on the table. Emporia FC at number 2 on the table. 1-1-2 on the season. Their inaugural season here in the League for Clubs. 4 goals for, 6 against. -2 goal differential there for Emporia FC. So they're certainly looking to try and improve that with a big win here over Omaha. Thus far, Emporia has had plenty of opportunities, especially early on. They had a few towards the later stages of the first half, but whether it be the wind or the stellar play of goalkeeper Matthew Hudson, they've been robbed each time. Emporia FC will kick off to start the second half. As again, I'm sure you can hear the wind in the background. It has not settled down one iota. It has been constant throughout the entire contest. We have seen canopies go flying. We have seen stat sheets go flying. We've almost seen a person go flying. Welcome to the beauty that is Kansas. Emporia FC immediately plays it into the backside of the field, kicks it right up towards the Omaha side. Little collision there just past midfield between Cabanis and Perkins. Long ball down the other way by Omaha. Way out of goal comes Pedro Silva to head it away. It does not go far. And in fact, it goes right back to Omaha. That was a dangerous play by Silva. If he had missed that, would have been an issue. Top of the box with it now was Omaha's Perkins. It's taken away by Emporia FC's back line and forced out of play. Throw in there for Omaha goes to the point of the left side of the box as we see it for Emporia FC. They start to clear it out. 2-on-1 situation for Emporia's Kaspersky. Now Fabi has a play on the goal on the right side. He's being guarded closely by Owen Rutledge. Ball goes off the shin of Rutledge and out of play. It's a throw in here for Emporia. Kaspersky going to do the honors. Throws it back shortly to Cabanis. Cabanis back to Kaspersky. Teetering on the boundary line and a long ball by Arroyo. There's no one there. Patrick Alador trying to track it down before it goes out of play, and he can't stop it. If anything, gave it a little bit of an assist, trying to toe tap it back over his head. Almost 2 minutes gone here in the early moments of the second half. Still scoreless between Omaha and Emporia. Again, Omaha sitting at the top of the table of the Mid-American Conference. Emporia looking to rebound from a loss from Union in their last outing. And it would be a big one if they can get the victory. Gotta say, don't know how many of you have been following Emporia FC very closely throughout the season, but the Black Lions have been doing a great job in terms of their cohesiveness, which is something they've struggled with at times throughout the season. Alodor sends the ball back towards the Omaha goal. It's headed away by the back line now. Nice little chip pass goes to Cabinets. Right side of the box. Crosses to the left, and it's just long. Alodor manages to keep it in play inside the left side of the box. Again, as we see it from atop the Lions' den here. Battling for it. He had 2 men on him. Now he's just trying to get around break, and ball will go up, snatched out of the air by Matthew Hudson. And you got to give Hudson credit, man. He has had to make some big saves here tonight, and he's done it every single time. That one not necessarily the most dangerous opportunity, but still a heads-up play there to stop any opportunity at a possible loose ball that could have squeaked in. And Omaha back again, deep on their own side of the field. The short passes, side to side, even up the middle a little bit and backwards. Again, just trying to open up that midfield, and they get something on the near side. Angel Lopez exploiting the opening, leaves the ball up the middle for Darnold. It's taken away by Kosuke Fukadomi of Emporia. Battling with headers there are McGuire Perkins and Bernardo Hanel for Emporia. Hanel back to Cabanis. Now to Candido. Candido will send it back to Silva in goal. Line drive pass goes to the far seam to Fukadomi. Fukadomi, long ball, looking for Hanel, and Hudson will say not a shot today. Sends it to the opposite side and his counterpart on the Emporia end. Now settled on the foot of Brett Perkins. Headed away by Alodor on his side of the field and out of play again. Again, the wind being relentless here in the Lions' den. Omaha breaking on the right side. Pulling up. Dukenholtz. Nice feed up the middle, but it's taken away by Emporia momentarily. It's pushed back out of the box towards midfield. Silva tracking the ball. It comes free in the middle again. Fires it off the crossbar. Silva behind the play. McGuire Perkins almost fired it home, but he was just a bit too high. And the soccer gods just bailed out Pedro Silva. He's going to say a few prayers tonight, that one's for sure. That was a laser beam of a shot that was literally just about less than an inch too high. If it had been just about half an inch lower, that would have gone right past Silva and in the goal. And that right there is possibly the best look that Omaha's had thus far tonight, and it's the best passing they've had in the Emporia box, as the back four just weren't able to do much. They were trying to stay on top of it, but Omaha able to get free. Now Cabanis has it, sends it back to Candido at the top of the box. Candido trying to get around the pressure. Back to Cabanis. Cabanis sent it to an Omaha player. It goes back to Cabanis again for Emporia, and he'll switch it to the opposite side. Now Nakano has it, pushing it up the way. Ahead on the foot race is Omaha. Hudson kind of shanked the long pass, but it still gets to Peter Wessling, who will send it to the Emporia side of the field. Fukadomi will track it down for the Black Lions and send it back to Silva at the top of the box. 51 minutes plus played so far in this contest. 6 minutes gone in the second half. Still scoreless. A little surprising here, as Emporia, not exactly a high-scoring team. They've had 4 goals in their favor here in the season, whereas 13 for the visiting Omaha Evolution. And Omaha has only allowed 3 goals all season long in their 3 contests. Not to mention, they've scored at least 3 goals in every contest. As Patrick Alodor trying to get a break on the long ball, left side, sends it to the right. Kaspersky has it, sends it up top to Hanel. Hanel has it intercepted and sent back the other way, and it looked like Emporia was trying to set we'd like to call a tic-tac-toe kind of passing play, but the wind not cooperating, and they had to settle a little bit more. There wasn't much time to just take a hard shot. Dukenholtz gets tripped up for Omaha on the Emporia side of the field. A collision there in the backside. Down on the ground in pain is McGuire Perkins, and he's not getting up, but play's not stopping either. He looks to be all right. Left side of the box with it for Omaha is Angel Lopez. Lopez sends it across the opposite way. There's no one there. Coming up into the box now is McGuire Perkins. Blocks the shot, does Emporia, and the Black Lions recover. They're trying to get it out of the zone. And so far, this has been much more back and forth first 10 minutes of the second half, whereas in the first half, it did seem like Emporia was generating the better opportunities while Omaha was generating the better passes. But right now, these two teams seem to be a little bit even in their style of play. Very, very, very quick pace. Very scrappy as well. Could almost be a tale of two games. Over 53 minutes played in the contest. That still stands even at 0. Throw in for Omaha on the far seam. Emporia intercepting at midfield. Little miscommunication there, but it's on the foot of Kaspersky. Goes to the near seam to Cabanis. Cabanis almost had it blocked by McGuire Perkins. He now goes to Nakano. Nakano will send it on the long ball to the opposite side. Far seam with it now is Patrick Alador. Alador surveying the land before he approaches. Sends it into the box on the toe of Fabi Arroyo. Shot on goal. Goes through the American football uprights, but not into the football goal. Another great opportunity there for Emporia. Again, passing is the name of the game right there. Generating opportunities with those passes. Another great setup by Emporia. Unfortunately, as has kind of been the case throughout the season, the shots are either too weak or too strong, and in that case, it was the latter, not the former. Hudson will survey the land himself before he just sends it off to the left side. Trying to settle it down was McGuire Perkins, and it goes off his chest. He tried to toe tap it back to himself, and it goes out of play. Emporia with possession. Kanata Takahashi gets thrown to the ground. Some words are exchanged between Omaha and Emporia after that. And that's the third time that Takahashi has ended up on the ground in this contest on what could have been a scoring opportunity for Emporia, and play has continued. Draw your own conclusions there. Emporia sends it back up to midfield. Intercepted momentarily by Omaha. They resettle, collect it. Now on the toe of Peter Wessling. Wessling. Quick pass. Goes back to him now. And Omaha trying to evade the little triangle that was set up there by Emporia FC. Fabi Arroyo has it now on his toes. He sends it left side of the field to Patrick Alador. Alador back to Arroyo at midfield. Kaspersky to Hanel, and an offside will be signaled. I've been doing this sport for a long time, and I do my homework, folks, and still, I can never predict an offside. It is one of the tougher rules in all of sport, in my personal opinion. Garcia and Galvin sub in for Evolution as Hudson gets us back into play. Clouds starting to push over the top of the Lions' Den here. As we get another collision, this time involving Omaha's Brett Perkins and Emporia's Fabi Kaspersky. Gives a free kick here to Omaha. Felipe Candido takes it away from Garcia. Garcia will then draw the foul after knocking down Yushin Nakano. And I'm telling you, we got a lot of ball game left, and it's already gotten a little chippy more than once. Be interesting to see how the remaining nearly 30 minutes plus will go. Fabi Arroyo sent it back. It goes back to him now. Nakano has it right near midfield. Cabanis will clear out the junk there for a moment. It's intercepted again by Omaha. Patrick Alador got a little too close for comfort there on Stukenholtz. Sends him to the ground. Again, Alador, we've talked about it a few times in this broadcast, is one of those kinds of players who is very versatile. He can play both sides of the ball. He's not afraid to. And he's done it throughout the season, both here and in the UPSL. But he's also a very aggressive player. I've seen him on more than one occasion during some, let's call it, I don't know if you could really call it a friendly match, but was a friendly scrimmage or inter-squad match between Emporia FC last year. It was meant to be a showcase for the fans, and Patrick Alador single-handedly almost turned it into a full-blown brawl on a few occasions. He's not afraid to get in there and mix it up if he has to. He's a very physical player, and that's the kind of guy you want to play with, not play against. Emporia sends it back up to midfield. Hanel to Kaspersky indirectly. Back to Alador now on the left side as we see the action. Alador trying to service it into the box. It's taken away again by the back line of Omaha. Emporia now threatening on the left side of the box. Just outside the line. Alador has it towards the top. And he'll try and send it, believe, back to Kaspersky, and it'll go right past him. I think he might have zigged when he should have zagged. The Englishman, Kens Toms, subs in for Emporia FC in the 60th minute. Taking a seat will be Bernardo Hanel. See what Toms can do here, as he has been a familiar name on the roster throughout the season. His first time here for Emporia FC this year. Little malfunction at the junction for both squads there, just past midfield on the Emporia side. Then it goes back to Hudson in goal for Omaha. Long ball for Evolution, headed away by Toms on the Emporia side of the field. Now back up to midfield. Arroyo was trying to wrangle it in, but again, for both squads, I think the wind is playing more than a factor than just on the shots themselves. I think they're also causing some issues in being able to settle that ball down and control it. You can hear it in my headset, I'm sure. It is just unrelenting. It almost feels every time that wind hits you like you've added 5 pounds on your back. It's Silva with a big save on a long shot from right near midfield. I'm not sure that one would have gone in, but Silva wasn't taking a chance. Got the fingertips on it. We'll send it out, and it'll be a corner here for Omaha, but good heads-up play there by Pedro Silva, not taking any chances. That's why we call him Big Save. Slipping up just a little bit there was Garcia for Omaha. Ball sent sky high up towards midfield, headed back towards the Omaha side by Kanata Takahashi. Out of play off of Omaha's Stukenholtz. Takahashi trying to get the ball away from him. The throw-in will come to Kaspersky instead. Kaspersky gets it to Cabanis. Cabanis will send it back Emporia now going to try and cut up the midfield. Goes to Alador, left side of the field, again, as we see it here. Alador, cross in the box, goes way up and high and hits the top of the American goalpost to end that opportunity for the Black Lions. It will lead to a goal kick here for Hudson and Omaha as we are almost out of minute 62 into minute 63 of this contest that is still yet to see a goal tallied. Highly unusual here for Omaha, again, averaging 3 goals per game. Have had 5 in 2 of their contests. Yet to find the twine thus far. Now Omaha, down the far side. Patrick Alador is going to get an obvious foul, and I see the yellow card coming out. There it is. Took 63 plus minutes, but we have our first booking of the contest, and it's going to go against Patrick Alador. We mentioned he can be a very aggressive player, and unfortunately right there, it cost Emporia, because now he's going to have to reassess how he'll play the rest of this game with that yellow. But knowing Patrick the way I do, probably won't change much. He's a pretty fearless player. He doesn't care if he's been booked, warned, or admonished. He's going to keep playing the way he wants to play, and that's very physical, in your face, and he's probably going to say a few things to you while he's at it. Into minute number 64. Free kick coming for Omaha. The low cross gets taken away by Emporia. Takahashi trying to steal it away, and he gets tripped up. It's worth noting Takahashi was a game-time decision to start this contest, as originally scheduled to start was Joku Jankowskis. I was able to overhear the conversation between him and head coach Victor Ibarra. I don't know exactly what the injury was that he was dealing with or the ailment, but he told Coach Ibarra he was feeling good, and if he could start, he would like to start. And Coach Ibarra said, "I'll leave it up to you." Well, we know the decision that Takahashi made as he has played all 64-plus minutes of this contest thus far. Whatever the ailment was, it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Jens Toms trying to get around Stukenholtz as they get into the Emporia side, and we get a massive collision that sends Stukenholtz to the ground, and I believe that was Fabio Arroyo. Oof. That one couldn't have felt good. You can't tell from the camera angles and from the video, but Arroyo's not a small guy. I'd put him at about 6 foot, maybe 6'1", and he's all of Ellis Oxman for Omaha subs in. As I was saying, he's all of probably about 135 pounds of just pure muscle. Comes running at you hard enough, he slides into you. That ain't going to feel good, so I understand why it took Stukenholtz maybe a hot second to get back up, as there's not really a lot of give. They always say that it's the bigger, heavier guys running into you that hurts the worst, but speaking as a fat man myself, I will tell you, I'd rather get hit by a heavier guy because at least they have some cushion. When you get hit by a guy like that, it's all muscle and bone connected with you. Back to action now. Emporia trying to reel the ball back in. It goes out of play, and it'll lead to another corner opportunity here for Omaha on the Emporia side. 66 minutes are gone, almost 67. Joku Jankowskis now in for Emporia FC, as taking a seat for the Black Lions. Believe that will be Fabi Kaspersky, trying to read the numbers from across the field. Here comes the corner for Omaha. Good cross. Punched away by Silva, cleared out momentarily by Fukudomi, and now sent to the opposite set of stands by the Black Lions. It'll be a throw in here, a little further away now for Omaha. Perkins sends it up the way. Omaha with an opportunity on the right side of the box. Ball comes free more than once, and we got a man down over on the far side. And they're going to call for the trainers. That does not look good. I'm trying to get a clear view of who it is that's down. Fortunately, I can't make it out. It was hard to see exactly what happened there because there were so many bodies in the way. Everybody kind of pushing, shoving, and fighting for that ball. But, oh, boy, I believe that's Takahashi. Nope, I stand corrected. That is Fukudomi. That's Kosuke Fukudomi, who was down there for a minute. He's running there on the sideline. Again, not quite sure what happened, but he appears to be okay. As Silva will have the goal kick. He sends it up to midfield to Jankowskis. To Takahashi, to Nakano, to Cabanis. Now down the right side, Jankowskis. Nice cross in the box. Takahashi just boots it wide of the goal. Another great opportunity for the Black Lions. Unfortunately, it does not change the score here. But, man, I talk about it all the time. The law of averages. At some point, one of these has to go in. I'm going to say, I think Kanata maybe waited a half second too long to try and put that ball in the goal because it looked like the top of his foot clipped the top of the ball. And, of course, that's not how you want to hit it. Might have just been a little too fast, too furious. But nonetheless, Emporia again with another fantastic opportunity generated by those long ball opportunities at the initial onset. Dukenholtz was trying to reel in the pass on the left side of the box. It's taken away by Felipe Candido. It'll be forced out of play, and it'll go to a throw-in for Omaha, and they've had plenty of those tonight. Now into minute number 70 of the contest. At least 20 more to go. Doesn't seem like either team has really lost a step here. The conditioning is impeccable. Stoppage in play here by our center official. And I think he's going to go have a conversation. Yeah, he is with Stukenholtz. As I think he's telling him, you got to stop grabbing, as there's a little bit of arm wrangling there that he's not going to let slide. And I will give the officials a lot of credit. They've done a good job of stepping in before things get too out of hand. And there are obviously a lot of sports where adrenaline and tempers might flare a little bit. Soccer's one of them, so I give the officials a lot of credit. They've done a good job of keeping tensions low here, stepping in when they need to. So give them a round of applause there. It's a good officiating crew. Long ball towards the Omaha goal. Was headed away by the defense. Now Emporia has it. Another long ball. Jankowskis has an opportunity, tries to put it past Hudson, and Hudson gets a toe on it. But we get a whistle and a yellow card against the keeper, Hudson. Hudson is trying to plead his case, and the official will hear none of it. What a great job by Jankowskis to reel in that long pass with the defender on his back against the wind, get the shot off, and draw the yellow for Hudson, who, aside from that miscue right there, has been pretty stellar in goal tonight for Omaha. Long conversation taking place right now, as it looks like every Omaha player is going to try and plead the case of their teammate, and just like the first attempt, official's going to hear none of it. Penalty shot opportunity for Emporia FC. This could break the scoreless tie that has existed now for over 72 minutes. A hush falls over the crowd. Emporia going to try and take the lead here. Hudson trying to make himself big. In on the shot. Fires. Goal! Fabio Arroyo for Emporia FC puts the Black Lions out in front 1-0 in the 73rd minute of play. You hear it there from the PA voice of the Black Lions, Gabe Diaz-Serrano. Fabio Arroyo breaks the scoreless tie and puts Emporia ahead 1-0 in the second half here. Well, it took a lot, but it finally, as I said, law of averages, something's going to break, and right there it just looked like a slight miscue by Hudson puts his team down 1-0. What? I'm now being heckled by the crowd for not going wild about the crowd going wild. Woo! There we go. I was busy yelling. But now we're going to need a second goal because I guess I got to make it up to them. And we might have the opportunity here. Emporia FC, left side now. Trying to press the momentum that they've already generated here. And shoved down is Takahashi. That is the fourth time he's ended up on the ground, and there's been no repercussions for it. What do they got to do? My goodness. I have seen MMA dummies in a gym get treated better than Takahashi's been treated by Omaha here tonight. And even then, somebody has something to say when the dummy gets thrown around too hard. My goodness. 75 minutes gone. Emporia FC leads it 1-0 off the penalty shot by Fabian Arroyo in the 73rd minute after the yellow card infraction that was committed by the goalkeeper Hudson. Both teams now with yellow cards, both coming here in the second half. The first one went against Emporia in the 63rd minute against Patrick Aludor, who lived up to his agitator reputation a little too well. The other coming against Matthew Hudson just a few moments ago after the collision with Joku Jankowskis in the box on Jankowskis' opportunity to score. Hudson, speaking of him, will send it back towards midfield. Little collision between Jamie Cabanis and Garcia of Omaha. I try to say it with that French flair, and I just can't nail it right now. I'll get it eventually. Ball goes back towards the Omaha goal. Hudson will send it to the far side. Now passing it around again is Omaha, and this has been their modus operandi all night long, these short passes, and they have been crisp. I will give them that. But right there, you see it again. As soon as they start to get it into the Emporia side, the interceptions galore. Ball at midfield, headed away by Nakano for Emporia, headed back by Omaha. Little toe tap there by Galvin for the Evolution. On the far seam, streaking down with it now, slowing up a little bit, is Omaha. Galvin goes up the middle Garcia had it, and we get another yellow card against Emporia FC as trying to see clearly who that was. Again, there was a bit of a scrum of bodies there. It was Vittorio Bellesi. Henry Gonzalez coming in to the contest for Emporia FC, and the crowd goes wild. Now leave me alone to do my job. Just kidding, I love you all. 77 minutes gone, approaching minute number 78. Emporia still in the lead, 1-0. And it'll be a free kick opportunity here for Omaha, looking to try and draw even with Emporia. And as they get set for this free kick, the wind just picking up intensely. Four-man wall blocks the shot by Perkins. It goes back to him twice now. He's having to move back towards midfield. Emporia now with 2 yellow cards against Vittorio Bellesi and Patrick Aludor. Aludor's coming in the 63rd minute. 77th for Kaspersky, or excuse me, for Bellesi. Emporia, a lot of headers. Nakano gets shoulder blocked down and will now have another yellow card, this time against Evolution in the form of Michael Stukenholtz here in the 78th minute. And finally, that heavy contact that Omaha has been enforcing on Emporia all night in the open field leads to a booking. Long ball sent down by Silva. Omaha gets it back, now sending it back to the Emporia end. On the far seam again is Omaha. Again, trying to draw even with Emporia. Silva staying out in front. Player gets knocked down in the box, pleading his case. I'm going to tell you right now, if they had awarded any kind of foul on that contact that sent him down after what Kanata Takahashi's been through tonight, there might have been a riot in the stands. The crowd would have really gone wild. 79th minute, heading into the 80th. Again, I will give the officials some credit. They are doing a good job of at least making the calls even if maybe a few have been missed, and I don't mean that disparagingly. It happens. Middle of the field, ball headed away by Brett Perkins of Omaha, out of play. As Patrick Aludor, who has played all of the last 80-plus minutes in this contest, the longest time he's spent on the field, I think, in either the UPSL or League for Clubs this season. Whistle against Emporia FC will lead to a free kick here for Omaha, deep in their own side. Goes up to Perkins. Back. Koshaus. Passing it around there in the back there with Rutledge. And then he'll send it up to midfield. Back to Brett Perkins. Perkins trying to clear it through a hole. Shot on goal from way outside, easily handled by Pedro Silva. Comes up with another big save. And again, that's why we call him Big Save Silva. It's not just because he is freakishly tall. I've never felt shorter standing next to a person than I do when I'm standing next to Pedro Silva. 81.5 minutes played. 1-0, the score from Emporia FC, thanks to the penalty shot by Fabi Arroyo in the 73rd minute. Peter Wessling was trying to clear through the line of white jerseys. Ball gets sent back onto the Omaha side. Galvin pushing it up. Brett Perkins sends it to the far seam. Stukenholtz trying to generate an opportunity, and a slide tackle takes it away by Patrick Aludor. Time continues to tick here. You're on the winning side right now. Feels like it's not going fast enough. And if you're on the losing side, feels like it's going all too fast. 82 minutes and 30 seconds now played. Emporia again on the winning side currently, and almost drawing equal was Omaha off that bouncing header from the top of the head that's taken away again by Pedro Silva. Little collision at midfield. Nobody hurt. Play continues. Jankowskis trying to dribble around the pressure. Miles Oxman now in for Evolution. Got to imagine Ellis and Miles, a relation of some kind. I would imagine brothers, much like Brett and McGuire Perkins. You'll have to forgive me. I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of investigative journalism into those ones, but great steal on the ball. Shot on goal is taken away by Owen Rutledge, who flew in at the last moment. But another great look for the Black Lions, who are trying to possibly put a dagger in Omaha in the 83rd minute. This will lead to a corner kick for Emporia FC as it was cleared out by Evolution. Minute number 84. Now underway in the contest with Emporia still leading it 1-0. After the penalty shot by Fabi Arroyo 10 minutes ago. Fabi sends it into the box from the corner. It's headed towards the goal, and it hits the waist or maybe lower chest of Miles Oxman. Omaha takes away the opportunity. Last touch by Emporia. And a throw-in coming here for Evolution, who again are looking for an equalizer as they are trailing and thus far on the verge of suffering their first shutout defeat. Again, thus far, this is the first contest they have not put in 3 goals or more. Minute number 85. Now on the clock. Omaha hustling around, trying to get something going here. They're inching closer and closer towards the Emporia side. They have it right at midfield. Collision knocks down a Black Lion, and that's not going to help Omaha's case very much, as that's going to be a free kick for the Black Lions. And I'm going to tell you right now, I doubt that they're going to be in any hurry. Nice long pass down the way. Not a lot of white jerseys around for Emporia, as a sudden downpour just started here at the Lions' Den out of nowhere. Well, that was a nice little surprise. Well, what more do you want? We've had drama, we've had penalty shots, we've had great opportunities, and now we've got rain. And, well, quite frankly, we made the poor decision earlier to take down our canopy that we were anticipating rain from. So now our technical director, Javen Arndt, is going to have to become a human umbrella and protect the equipment. As Emporia FC is trying to protect their 1-0 lead. Welcome to Kansas, folks. 1 minute sunshine, next minute clouds, next minute a sudden downpour. Oh, man, we've had everything here tonight. Wind, rain, penalty shots, no push and shoving. Gotta love this sport. 87th minute of play now. Emporia trying to close out their second victory in the league for clubs, and what a win it would be if they can topple the team at the top of the table in Omaha Evolution. The rain might have came, but the fans are not leaving. They might be seeking some cover, but staying out here in the elements to cheer on their guys. I think you might have heard one of them just a moment ago. Emporia pushing it back towards the Omaha goal. Almost into the 88th minute of play. Omaha stuck at midfield for a moment. Send it back towards the Emporia goal. Pedro Silva will call off the defenders and hop on top of that one. Black Lions still in firm control thus far. As again, the downpour has started here in Emporia in the late stages of the second half. Emporia FC stops the momentum of Omaha momentarily, gets it in their own side, trying to clear it out now, and they do, back the other way to Hudson. Now into the 89th minute. Time ticking away here as Silva jumps on top of another one. In the dying 30 seconds of the final minute of regulation. Waiting to see how much added time we may have here. Again, has not been a large amount of stoppages so far. Clock counting upwards. We are into minute number 90. Still no word on the added time from the officials as it continues to pour down here in Emporia. And again, you got to love this sport. We did earlier have a press box where we would have been protected, but now we're out in the elements, and God, I love my job. Some lovely fans giving us their umbrella to protect our equipment. We appreciate that. As again, we are now 38 seconds, past the 90-minute mark, with Emporia still leading 1-0. Gabe Portas subbing in for Emporia FC in the dying minutes of this contest. This is why our camera operator, Ashley Rios, did not do her makeup, she tells me. Smart decision, Ashley. I wish I hadn't done mine. At least I don't have to worry about my hair getting wet, because I don't have any. There's some advantages to having bad genetics. 91 minutes, 22 seconds played. Still have not heard an official word on how much added time was stated, as it looks like the downpour is starting to let up a little bit here. Emporia and Omaha still battling for possession. Omaha, if they're going to try and draw even with Emporia, they're going to have to just heave one down the field at this point. Again, I'm not sure how much time remains, but they're quickly running out of it no matter how you look at it. Emporia sends it back to midfield. Ball out of play. Throw in for Omaha in a hurry now. Headed back towards the boundary by Emporia. They send it out of play yet again. Another throw incoming for Evolution. And immediately sent back out of play by Emporia. And this is what we in American football love to call prevent defense. Just don't let them near the goal line. Ball sent out of play yet again, and this is the kind of tactics you're able to use when you're leading late. Almost into the 93rd minute now, so we will have had 2 minutes of added time at this point. 3 minutes, I should say. I was never very good at math. My apologies. Emporia FC nearing the finish line of what may be the biggest win they've had since coming to the League for Clubs in just the last year. The downpour has stopped as Emporia still in that preventive mindset, just trying to keep the ball as far away from the goal as possible. Pedro Silva about to collect a clean sheet. Owen Rutledge brings it in, sends it to the left side to Peter Westling. Westling puts it into the box. Opportunity on goal taken away by Pedro Silva on a miscue by Ellis Oxman. Tried to go with the high overhead kick, and he just couldn't connect. Easy scoop up there for big save Silva. Silva sends it back down to the opposite side. We've got to be nearing the end here. Omaha will reel it in on their own side of the field. It goes out. They'll throw it in. Again, no word yet on how much time was added, but it's been at least 4.5 minutes, and that's going to be it. Emporia FC topples the top of the table and puts a number in the L column for Omaha. The first time this season. Emporia improving to 2-1-2 in the League for Clubs. First loss again for Omaha this season, now 3-1 on the year. And Emporia did it in a shutout by Pedro Big Save Silva. Oh boy, there's going to be a party at the team house tonight. You can be sure of that. As I said, this is by far the biggest win Emporia has had in this season. Well, that's going to do it for us here in the Lions Den. Your final score, Emporia FC 1-0 over Omaha Evolution. Emporia FC looking to continue the winning ways in their next outing, which we will bring to you here on the League for Clubs channel in just a few short days, so make sure you stay tuned. So much more to come. For those of you following the Black Lions, make sure you jump on over to the Emporia FC Facebook page, as we will have our official post-game coverage with head coach Victor Ibarra and a few of our key players here tonight. For Javen Arndt on the equipment, Ashley Rios on the camera, I am Tegan Terhune, the video voice of Emporia FC, saying so long till next time from the Lions Den.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.
Brought to you by Praxis Sports, the unified platform helping sports organizations manage communication, scheduling, and operations in one place. Learn more at praxisports.com.
There's a leisurely lunch with friends. And then there's a 7-course gourmet tasting lunch with 7 perfect wine pairings aboard a fully restored 1915 Pullman rail car as it floats past rolling hills and rows of vines stretching out as far as the eye can see. Napa Valley. Live a little, or a lot.